Hello and welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol, where we will explore food and a little beyond. So come along with me on this journey and see what we uncover. 25 years ago, Lisa DeSisto left her corporate job at Bertucci's to open Rigatoni's Italian Takeout in Derry. She survived a fire and a pandemic in 2020, bought the 70-year-old Clam Haven to preserve a New Hampshire tradition, and became WMUR Chronicle's go-to Italian cooking teacher. Today, we're talking about building something from scratch, why treating customers like family isn't just marketing, and how Lisa turned her passion for Italian food into a Derry institution. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Plate with Carol. We are proudly sponsored by the Red Arrow Diners. We have 4 locations in Manchester, Londonderry, Concord, and Nashua. All are open 24/7 and voted one of the top 10 diners in the country by USA Today. Welcome, Lisa.
Welcome, Carol. Thank you so much for having me. And I love that introduction. That's got to get on our webpage.
You are awesome. First time I meet you, and I can already tell how this is going to go. There's going to be no problem. You're fun. Yeah, I love it. You have a lot of passion.
I do. I do.
Before we get into it, just let people know where they can find you.
Okay, so I'm located at 38 West Broadway in downtown Derry. It's exactly 1 mile off of exit 4 heading towards the center of Derry.
All right. And Clam Haven.
And then Clam Haven is seasonal. And if you keep going a mile north, you'll see us on 94 Rockingham Road and also located in Derry.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. And then social media.
Oh, social media. I have an excellent social media marketing manager. Her name is Chrissy. And she is all over the place. I'm not really good with the social media, but we're on TikTok, Instagram.
You are awesome at the social media. Are you kidding me?
Well,
she finesses you.
Right. But she's also up my culo every day to give her content. Hey, can you send me a video of this? Hey, can you send me a video of that? And I'm like, sure. After I get done with the 10 orders of eggplant that I have, I'll get right on that, Chrissy. So it is true. We're all over the place. But if I didn't have her to remind me how important social media is, it's to get your name and your face out into the community and a reminder. And Chrissy's really good at capturing the essence of who we are and what.
Well, you're real. That's the thing with you, Lisa. And I've only met you like it's been 15 minutes and I can already tell. I mean, you're genuine, you're real.
Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's great. And sometimes it's not so good.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean. So, sometimes we piss people off.
Yes, we do.
But sometimes it's necessary, right?
Well, yeah, because what I find is that we're only takeout and catering, right? And for many, many years, and still today, mostly women will place their order and then they'll have their husbands to go pick it up. And then all of a sudden, good-looking guy comes in and he's here to pick up an order for James. And I don't have an order for James.
Oh, gosh.
And then he doesn't know what name he's picking up or what he's picking up or blop, blop, blop. And then I go, okay, let's take a deep breath. And then there's another guy coming in and all of a sudden it's like, hold it, don't touch, I'll take care of it. And sometimes that approach doesn't always work. Most of the time, though, it does.
Okay, let's dive right in here.
Okay.
You were working at Bertucci's in management and field marketing. And then in 2000, you left that secure corporate job.
Yeah.
What happened? Talk to me about that.
All right. So I actually loved my job at Bertucci's. I started out in restaurant management, worked my way up the corporate ladder, assistant manager, general manager. And then the marketing department actually drafted me out of operations. And they wanted somebody who could be a liaison between operations and the corporate office. And I loved that job because what I find is that when you're in the corporate office, those individuals don't understand what the operators are going through, right? So you could be on an hour wait. And then all of a sudden, the corporate office will call you and say, hey, you didn't send in your payroll. All right, give me a minute, but it's not going to be during lunch rush that I'm going to send you that info. And then I was able to be that one person that if the corporate office needed to communicate to operations, they would give me their packet of information, and 90% of it, I would throw it in the trash because restaurant operators only need to know what they need to know, right?
True.
You're giving them a packet. They're not going to read it. They're going to go flip, 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 and give me this, and then off they go. And then on the reverse side, the operators would need certain things to help them grow sales. And I understood that. So if they needed T-shirts or gift certificates, they would call me, Lisa D, at extension 303. And I'd be like, okay, I'll get that out to you, to Maryland. And I felt like I was the hero because I understood what operations needed. I would send them out, and it was great. And then I got to work with the corporate chefs, and any new recipes that we had, I would take it to the fields, analyze it, work it. Then I would give the feedback back to the corporate office. We would redevelop, reorganize it. And then I would develop the recipes and all of the, I would say, standard operating procedures on how to implement those new menu items. So I loved my job. But then the owner of the company, Joey Quignali, he was amazing. He ran his company like if it was his own family. We had 103 restaurants.
Were they company owned or franchise?
They were company owned. They went public. God, I can't remember the year, but we only had 10 restaurants when we had gone public. And when I started with the company, we were at 10 restaurants, and that was in Woburn, Massachusetts. And then we grew the company to 103.
So you were with them from 10 to 103.
Yeah, 10 to 103. And then the shareholders, it's kind of like what's going on with Market Basket right now, right? The shareholders are like, yeah, you're not giving us enough money at the bottom line and blah, blah, blah. So they tried to buy the company back from Joey, and he couldn't raise enough funds to buy it back. So ultimately it got sold. And then once the company got sold, it was no longer the same company.
Right.
That passion, the family values. When I had my son, Joey Quignali, the owner of the company, was the first one to send me a bouquet of flowers. He was the first one in the office every morning, the last one to leave every night. And it just gave you that feeling that your job mattered. And then once the company got sold, it didn't matter. I was just a number, I went from Lisa D, extension 303 to Lisa who? And I was just like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Okay.
My son was 4 years old at the time. I just said, you know what? I'm going to go on my own and make my own meatballs.
And so that's how Rigatoni's
And
that's 25 years ago.
Yeah. We just finished our 25th year. And it's interesting because every time I drive up 93, because I would commute from Derry, our corporate office was in Wakefield, and it was a snowstorm one night, and I was driving up 93, and I was getting off exit 4, and I was like, oh, God, I wish I could just go to a place that had takeout food that wasn't a double cheeseburger, and at that time, our choices were limited, right? We only had Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, and that's about it, right? So I said, wouldn't it be nice if there was just a place that we could get good homemade takeout food, right? Something that you didn't feel guilty about serving your family. And then that's when I said, yeah, I can do that. I can make meatballs and salad and soups for
Now, you
busy
didn't
women.
start at the Derry location, though.
Yeah, I did. I actually did. Yep. My Aunt Teresa was a real estate agent. Teresa Steele Realty's been in the industry since the 80s. God rest her soul, she just passed away at age 88.
Right.
And I called her up. I said, Auntie Teresa, I'm gonna go out on my own. And she says, oh, I think I might have a place for you. And it was downtown Derry, and it was a karate studio. And that was on a Thursday. And I drafted my business plan that night. Friday, I went and saw the location. I think at the time they were asking $150,000 for the building. I don't know, something silly. I offered them full price, went to Community Bank. Scott Kinsley was the office manager there. I put my son right on his desk and said, hey, I'm going to start my own business here. Help me out. And at that time, Derry was exploding into the Derry Economic Development Corporation, and we were a Main Street program. And they loved the idea, so they actually embraced the idea of good homemade food for takeout. And it just soared right from there.
Wow.
Yes. Never expecting it to be as popular and well received as it was.
So why do you think that is?
Well, I think it was because I solved the problem. I solved the problem of working women not having an alternative to other items they could feed their families. And so that was number one. I believe that it was great. It was good food, something that you could be proud of. And I think most importantly is I understood the working woman, that it's a different thing. It's a different generation than when our mothers were working, or, they would work as, school bus drivers or nothing so full time. But I understood the needs of the woman of having to provide for the family. So that connection really worked. So if there was some type of an allergen, right, I could say, okay, I got it, right? There was no structure for me that I had to stay within those boundaries. I could go outside those boundaries to satisfy the needs of my customers. And that's really what gives me a lot of joy, because I like to help. And I guess, there's that book out there, 5 Languages of Love, right, with relationships. Not that I shouldn't have followed it in my own marriages. However, I think my love language is give, right? Because I do like to give. And the best talent I have, I think, is food. And so I think that's where I am most successful and most happiest, is when I'm preparing food and giving it to my customers.
So the name, what does rigatoni's mean? Like, where did you come up with that?
All right. I did come up with that. I literally drafted my business plan in less than 10 hours, let's say. And I remember being in my house downstairs. My son was playing on the floor. My ex-husband was watching TV, and I'm typing away. And we were playing off all kinds of names. And my son's name is Anthony. And I didn't want it just to be called Anthony's, because what does that mean, right?
Plus, it sounds too original. Right?
Right. Well, not original enough. Right. So I took a pasta, being the rigatoni pasta, and I ended up changing the I to a Y. So it's kind of named after my son. So we would have that traditional value.
Rigatoni.
So it's Tony's, like rigatoni's after it. And what are we? We're an Italian takeout. And then from the takeout grew the catering is just huge, because, at that time there was no way or no places that you could just get like a larger portion of meals that you could serve at a party without, you go to a wedding and you're paying $50, $60, $70, $80 a head. This way you don't have to have that. And the other thing I think about rigatoni's is we also have family sizes, so I think that's really important, because you get a family size salad, a family size entree, a whole loaf of bread. You get a complete meal without having to think of, who wants this, who wants that. Of course, you can get several options, but the option of including the whole family, so the mother can just come, lift it up, here you go, it's all done and ready to go.
I love it. I've been in a couple times because I used to own a sewing store right down the street.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, Angel Sewing.
Yes, of course.
I just sold it. I was there 5 years. I called that my fun job.
Yeah, your hobby.
No, I'm just kidding. You know I'm kidding. But so I have been in there for a few times.
Did you hear me yelling and screaming?
I did see you back there, and I was wow.
Sometimes I
loved it. No. I didn't take it like that at all. You are passionate about what you do.
Yes.
You're genuine, you're passionate. Yes. And like we said earlier, sometimes it comes across, but people know your passion. So
yeah. Well, the other thing too is I have to let you know, like, I'm the only girl in an Italian family. I'm the only granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
So my grandmother had 9 grandsons. I was the only granddaughter, and I lived next door to her. So when my grandmother was a young widow, so when my grandmother was depressed or whatever, my mother would say, go see grandma. I was like 5 years old, crossing the street, grandma. And then I was always getting yelled at by my mother, right? And so it's just like, it's just natural to yell, but I don't mean to be yelling.
No, you're just passionate about what you're saying. So I want to know the relationship of Chronicle. I mean, Chronicle, you go from teaching spaghetti to turkey to,
Well, Catherine,
my favorite thing is the bloopers.
Oh, I mean, God. All right. So
how did that relationship start? How did that?
It started a year ago. First of all, Chronicle does an excellent job of highlighting businesses on and around the area. And it's just phenomenal. And last year they came in and they did a piece on us. And then Catherine Underwood, she doesn't know how to cook at all. And
funny when you hear people say that, when you know how to cook. You know what I mean?
I'm she really has no knowledge whatsoever. And she is...
Sorry, Catherine.
Yeah, right. But she is as real as I am, right? She says it, I don't know how to cook. And then she called me up and she says, do you think you could teach me how to cook on air? I go, absolutely. I would love to do that. And I did. And I think what was attractive to Catherine is that all of our recipes are 3 or 4 ingredients at most, because it's all sauté. Everything's homemade. It's quick. And it's stuff that she can actually make at home. And I think that's what excited her. And I mean, I took a piece of pizza dough and I showed her how to make a focaccia bread. And she was like, wow, right? And so that developed a relationship. And then she needed to do a series on holiday. And she's like, I want to do a holiday piece. What do you think? I go, yeah, absolutely. So we discussed a whole bunch of things about showing people at home it's not that hard, right? It's just a couple little simple techniques, because I'm not a cook. I am a cook. I'm not a chef, right? And I cook as if you were coming to my home. And she is like super cool, super fun. So how did the bloopers come, right? So when she comes, I'm all prepared. I know what she needs. And I got that whole ADHD thing going on. So I get a little distracted. And I think she has a little ADHD too. So, because we go off on a tangent. And we did the whole turkey thing. She loved it. And now we go on to making turkey gravy. And then the next thing was going to be cranberry sauce. And she goes, cut. And we had to redo that take. And she says, okay, let's start it from that 5-minute timer. Now, mind you, I explained to you before, my son works with me, right? And it's a love-hate relationship. So he had walked in while we were filming. And I said to Anthony, I go, hey, can you put that timer so it can go off again, right? So her and I are looking over the stove and we're waiting. And I go, where's the timer? I'm saying to myself, right? So if you look at the TV spot, you could see my lips moving. And I whispered to her and I go, can you believe that's my freaking son over there? She didn't know that was my son. So she bursts out laughing. Now he does the timer while we're talking, right? And then I go, okay, Anthony, this is what we need to do. Just put the timer on for like 10 seconds, right? Oh, but here's the best thing. My son is not like us. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't smile. And he's giving me the scowl on his face. And what he didn't realize is that the cameramen were still filming him, right? And so the more I talked, the more mad he got, right? And then we just couldn't do the piece. We go, oh, we'll forget it. And we had to go film downstairs. And then the cameraman showed us. I think I yelled at Anthony 22 times. He still to this day denies that he did anything wrong. I go, you're right on Chronicle. So what they did was they went back and all of the bloopers, right? And I thought that was so masterful of Chronicle to show the bloopers, because it gives the people a reality of really what happens during filming. You know, news is news. It's got to be so perfect, but it's not. And it's really actually a lot of fun. And the cameramen are great. Catherine is wonderful, and it was just a good synergy between the both of us.
It's awesome. It was just
cool.
awesome.
I don't think
we're going to need to
cooking.
tag her in this.
Oh, we do. I don't think she's cooking yet.
No?
I don't think so. Although she did do a piece where she was decorating cookies with her children, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think she did in the holiday time. I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I got to learn a lot about her job. And because I said, do you love doing this? She goes, yeah, I do. She goes, but then when I got to go back, and I don't know, you might know this better than I do. She's got to like write out exactly what she has to say. And she goes, sometimes I just sit at my desk for 6 hours trying to come up with something.
So for someone that may be listening or watching that has never been to Rigatoni's, walk them through the front door and what they might expect.
Well, first of all, if you haven't been to Rigatoni's, I want to know.
Get your butt over there.
And wait till I get your father after this one. He's upstairs.
Oh, he's going to be a regular. I know he will.
I get it. He is. He's French though, so I don't know. I gotta come up with some good food for him. When you come in, we're an open concept kitchen, right? Which is, again,
I love that.
I love that too, because I want to give
transparency.
Yeah. And if we're making a mistake, we're going to fix it. It's my one-on-one contact with you. I want you to feel like you're coming into my home. And this is the best way that I can, welcome you into my home. And, you never know. Like, there could be cookies on the counter here. Have a cookie, have a slice of pizza while you're waiting. And so when you first walk in, there'll be a counter. There might be Weezer. Her name is Tammy, but sometimes she's in a good mood. Sometimes she's not. We take your order, and then once we take your order, we start producing your food right in front of you. And then it goes out depending upon if it's a soup, salad. Sandwiches are called Spuckies right there.
Say that again?
Spucky. And what a Spucky is it's actually an oxymoron. So back in Boston, all sandwiches were called Spuckies, but they were like small finger-like sandwiches. But our sandwiches are 10 inches long, and each one of them weigh well over a pound.
I had an Italian one.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, the Italian's awesome.
And it is huge.
Yeah. And we slice all the cold cuts to order, and that makes it really ideally, because everything's fresh. The cold cuts don't oxidize. And again, it resonates back to my childhood. Like, my mother would make everything to order. Nothing was like made up ahead of time, You'll always see a pot of gravy on the stove, and now you're going to say, oh, why do we call it gravy, right? Do you know? Well, you might know.
No, I don't.
Okay, so...
Now I'm intrigued.
Oh, yeah. So to give the viewers some type of an idea of, red sauce that you put on pasta.
Yeah.
Well, people fight over that. Is it sauce or it's gravy? And yes. And
I see gravy. I'm a diner, so I think of gravy on mashed potatoes.
Right. And that is true. However, if you look up Webster's Dictionary, a gravy is any sauce made from the extraction of a meat product, right? So I take my sauce when we're making it, and I add pork bones, sausage to it. And once it comes into a simmer, I add meatballs. So technically, it's called a gravy. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have marinara sauce, but that would be made with no meat. But we do call it gravy because it has the pork and stuff in that. But families have been fighting over that for years. I mean, even customers in our restaurant fight. Oh, it's not sauce, it's gravy. And yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a great little piece. I guess it's a good marketing tool, right?
Yeah, of course it is.
But then, if you're vegetarian, we have the marinara sauce because we fry the eggplant and all that. Well,
peel or no peel on eggplant?
Oh, I peel it. Do you peel yours?
Yes.
Of course,
That's
right?
the only way. I hate it when it has. I'm so glad you just said that.
I think the Greeks leave the peel on it.
See, and that's why when I do go out,
it's bitter.
It is, and it's hard, and it.
Yeah. So the thing with the eggplant is that it has to be. Oh, can I tell you a really good story about our eggplant?
Yeah.
All right. So, I married when I was young, stupid, but
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I definitely have.
So his family was Italian. My family was Italian. But depending upon which region of Italy you came from, your family's cooked differently.
Right.
And so my mother made her meatballs. She soaked bread in milk, And my mother made her meatballs. They were delicious. Dwayne, my ex-husband's mother, she would make the meatballs, but she would put the meatballs in the sauce raw, and it gave it a funny texture. So there was no way I was going to do that in my restaurant. So before we opened the restaurant, my mother and Dwayne got together to formulate the meatball. I had to leave the house because I thought there was going to be a fist fight. So we got that recipe. Now, when it came to the eggplant, I lost that battle. So Dwayne's family would peel the eggplant and they would dredge it in flour and then grill it. And it was okay. Nothing that I would say, oh my God, it's awesome. Because my grandmother taught me how to fry eggplant. And we would peel it, slice it super thin, egg it, Progresso breadcrumbs, and then fry it one piece at a time. So this story is so cool because we had just gotten out of marriage therapy, right? I go up. I was in London, Derry. I left marriage therapy or whatever you call it. I went to the attorney's office, Parnell attorney at law, filed for divorce, walked back to Rigatoni's. I go, hey, everybody, we're changing the eggplant recipe. Back to the original, my recipe, the way my grandmother taught me. And eggplant is, without question, our #1 seller. And it's phenomenal. I can't even keep up with it, honestly. We do 2 to 3 cases of eggplant a day.
Wow.
So we peel it, we put it on the slicer.
That's amazing.
Yep, it gets sliced super thin on the meat slicer. We egg it, Progresso breadcrumbs, and we fry one piece at a time. It's delicious. It really is so good. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't like eggplant, which is valid, right?
Yeah.
But then when you try it this way, it's so good.
You know, it reminds me of, have you been to, well, you probably, and I'm sure you haven't, and that's fine. Aviva Trattoria.
No.
I had, the general manager was on, and they have street fries on their menu.
Okay.
And it's eggplant fries.
Oh, excellent.
You would never know you're eating, that's what I mean. Right. You would never know you're eating eggplant.
Yeah.
It's like, for someone that said, you know, my girlfriend, I don't like eggplant. I'm like, you're going to like this. Don't worry. Trust me.
Right. And, it's the word eggplant. You
I think so.
You don't know what it is. And then you might automatically think it has the peel on it and whatnot. So you're automatically afraid to try it.
Right. It's true. It's true. This episode is powered by Red Arrow Diner. All 4 locations, officially open around the clock. Swing by Manchester, Nashua, Concord, or Londonderry whenever hunger hits. From pancakes at 2 a.m. to fries and gravy for breakfast, we've got your cravings covered. Red Arrow, New Hampshire's favorite 24-hour diner tradition. So you probably answered my next question, which was, what is like some of your signature dishes? Eggplant must be one of them.
Oh, yeah, definitely the eggplant, the meatballs, the gravy for sure, because, you know, once you have a good sauce, to me, that's the most important thing, right? So therefore, our chicken parm is delicious.
I love a good chicken parm.
I love a good chicken parm. One of our signature items, which I actually developed it after my grandfather, because my grandfather was from Bertucci, and it's called sausage Abruzzese. And it's we use a sausage from Bianco's in Revere, homemade sausage. And we sauteed that up with pastine, vinegar peppers, red roasted peppers with red pepper flakes. My mouth is watering right now because I can. The vinegar peppers is me. It resonates with me because we like things spicy. And it's tossed with the rigatoni pasta and the red sauce. And you can smell it and it's so good. So that's a great signature dish. What's coming up now is super popular as people's tastes are trying to vary out. The chicken marsala is now becoming super popular, chicken piccata. And that's another great thing about why we're so busy is because you can get these types of dishes for takeout. That travels really well. So when you're ordering, and yes, chicken parm travels well, but does shrimp scampi? Yes, it does, right? So shrimp scampi, you can get that for takeout. Fettuccine Alfredo is my favorite. And then the Spuckies are, the Italian is super good.
So walking people through, not only they can come in for lunch and get something to order, but you also have refrigeration units that you can get, family dinners. And
that's what I find to be also beneficial is that, everyone's time is limited, right? So if you're getting your first meal, And our portions are definitely, you'll get leftovers after our portions. Then you could grab something from Take and Bake, and there'll be all kinds of homemade soups in there, different types of items like shepherd's pie. Every Tuesday, we make chicken pot pies, which are amazing. In fact, I'm going to send one to your dad tomorrow, because if he's French, he's going to like our chicken pot pie for sure. I'm sending that to him.
I love it.
We make it from scratch.
He'll
And
love it.
they're so good. And who would think an Italian can make chicken pot pie?
Well, it's just.
Yeah, we had gone apple picking one day when my son was like 6 years old. And we were apple picking, and I bought a pot pie. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go home and I'm going to cook up this pot pie. And when I took it out of the oven, I cut it, and it was just like, ugh. And then the next day, I went back to Rigatoni's, and we made a pot pie.
Okay,
and now I have to make them.
What made your pot pie stand out versus the one that you had the day before? Like, what did you make? How did you make it different?
I added chicken. There was like no chicken in it, and it was
probably
just,
like little shredded pieces.
Yeah, it was like all
okay.
yeah. So definitely. And then for me, you could tell that maybe it might have been manufactured. This is we're making it.
Okay.
We actually boil the chicken and debone it.
Right.
I'm crazy. I'm my own worst enemy. But yeah,
I grew up at Belmont Hall with my grandparents in the kitchen, and when we would take apart turkeys.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? If we didn't get every stinking piece off the bone, we were in trouble.
Oh, same. My grandmother would say, "Shellaboppada," and what that means, you're wasting everything. Yeah, all right, Graham. If she ever was alive today.
Same here.
She'd be
and
yelling
we'd get caught if we would, watch out.
Yeah.
Oh,
and she would be yelling at me that these cookies are too big because she made them small, right? She said, oh, you waste everything.
Oh, gosh. So we all know the year 2020.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So you had a fire.
Yes.
And then COVID.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
So COVID, I have mixed emotions about. First of all, COVID exposed me, right? I was the only gig in town that really did takeout better than anybody. But then once COVID hit, everyone found out my secret, right? That you can do takeout, and it's a great second revenue for a restaurant to get additional revenue. And
we started DoorDash.
Right, exactly.
I'm like, no one's going to order eggs on DoorDash.
But they will.
Like, I was so against that. I was like, no way. Well, it's crazy.
So Chrissy is here as well. And she's like, you're going to have to do DoorDash. And I'm like, no way. Because for me, I want that constant connection with my customer. So the night before COVID hit, I had some weird sense that something was up. And I called every distributor in the state of New Hampshire. And I ordered every takeout container possible. So I had my downstairs filled with takeout containers. So I was ready for COVID. And I had 2 takeout restaurants. I had Clam Haven and Rigatoni's. And when COVID hit, I was able to produce and execute. And just not only was it for a sales issue, but I was able to assist the community. Children were left home, and we were able to feed them. We were able to feed police, fire, people in need. And maybe this is egotistical, but for the first time in my life, I was considered an essential employee, right? And the other great thing was I had resources. So like if you came to Rigatoni's, you got a roll of toilet paper because I had it, right? I had bleach. I had sanitizer. Because I had it. So first, I was like, oh, God, this is going to expose my business. And then the most important thing for me is I was able to help the community. The third piece of it was I made a lot of money off of it. And then the fourth piece about it, which I'm wicked proud of, I never shut down one day. I never laid off one employee. We went to work every day. And those who had to stay in their house, what's that called? Quarantine. Those that had to quarantined, and those that still had to work, we came to work. So I'm super proud of that achievement.
That's true, because that's where a lot of people, they use it as an excuse.
Yeah, no.
And unless you pivoted and did, what you needed to do, which is we did the same thing.
Yep. And then all of the other restaurants caught on that they could do takeout. So, and I watched, but now I kept with my business model of still focusing on takeout and catering. And I feel that, well, I know that Rigatoni's is a leader in that industry because restaurants that have in-house dining and takeout, something has to suffer. It's very, very, very difficult to do both. You almost need two sets of teams in order to execute that properly. And what I find is that when I'm doing takeout, I have my regular customers and then I have my DoorDash people standing at me. And the DoorDash driver doesn't understand that you're second, right? And even though they're representing the other customer, the people that are standing in front of me are the ones that I got to take care of, right? But I've developed a good sense in my head on how to treat that all customers are the same. Doesn't matter the vehicle on how they receive it. So for me, I learned a ton about COVID. The state of New Hampshire was very assisting with funds because it did come to a point that once they started implementing all these regulations, that's when it hurt me financially, is because now we had to build barriers, right? And once they implemented those rules and regulations, that's when it got more challenging. So I'm glad that COVID has come to peace, but it was a great learning lesson that any point at any time in any of our careers, something can happen and you can go out of business in just a day.
It's true.
How many people had to file bankruptcy? So as I redeveloped my business plan, you have to make those things a priority, like a fire. So as I'm working and I had just expanded into Wyndham and I was working in the Wyndham store and I got a call, Lisa, the building's on fire. I'm like, how can that be? I just got my hood cleaned the night before. Literally, I had just spent a little over $100,000 renovating my building, all new wires and all that. And so I'm 7 minutes away. I pull up. My building was fully inflamed. But interestingly enough, the fire happened outside of the building, not inside.
Wow.
So it was, it's still a mystery as to how a building catches on fire on the outside, but it happened. And then the setback was, okay, how does one repair a building when nobody's working? So that set me back for a little bit for timing. But once we did, customers came right back. And I think the support was awesome. And our business is back better and stronger than before. But it hurt. I lost family momentums because that was my home, It was where my grandmother's mixer was, her pizzelli maker. It's where so many memories were created. But memories can never be dissolved,
taken away.
They can't be taken away. Right. So every time I make that eggplant, I say, you know what? This is how my grandmother taught me, and I'm still going to keep that memory alive.
There you go. So where did Clam Haven come in? So you have rigatoni's. You're not busy enough.
I know. Well, so this is where Clam Haven came in. My good friend Rick Metz and his family, they were ready for retirement. And they were selling their business for a couple of years now. And this was before COVID had happened. And I had sold a property. And I have a couple of units, nothing fabulous, but I wanted to go into an opportunity so Clam Haven is seasonal, right? Summer, and Rigatoni's is busier in the winter. So
balance is nice.
Balance it nicely. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, when one is busy, the other one not. And then we would cross-utilize the staff and the products.
So is Clam Haven, are they closed right now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So it's open seasonally.
Yes, so it's March to October.
Okay.
And I had some real estate, and then so I had some money that I had to either pay taxes on it or invest it in the property. And so that's what I did. I exchanged it and I bought the property, and then I hired some gentleman to help me run it. And then it goes from there.
Wow.
Yes. So
love it. So then you had to learn seafood.
Yeah.
I used to work for Weathervane.
Oh, I love that. I used to love Weathervane.
I started as a waitress. in Bedford. I left the family business.
Yeah.
My parents and grandparents were like, "Ooh." I'm like,
yeah,
bye-bye.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And I started as a waitress. And 2 weeks later, my general manager, and he was like my mentor, Michael Cowett, K-O-W-E-T. But anyway, he says, if we have a meeting, I'm like, okay.
I know, you're so scared.
I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Like, what did I do wrong? He says, you are not waitress material. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not what do you mean? He goes, I want you to be my dining room manager. And I'm like,
what's
a dining room manager? I didn't even know what it really was. I was like, what? And then I wanted to learn more. I went into the kitchen and I went like as far as like kitchen manager. And then I bought the Red Arrow when I was 23. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
I learned do they do calamari?
They do calamari rings.
Okay. Because we used to have to prep. That was my worst thing to prep, those things.
Yeah. Oh. The eggs and the eyes. My grandmother taught me how to do that. So
that's
I'm going to do that this weekend. I'm going to stuff the calamari.
Ooh.
I haven't done that in a while.
Ooh.
But so Rick and his family taught us all of his recipes, and it was my vision to keep that going. But he's a tough act to follow. But we're still in there doing hot dogs and hamburgers, and this past year we did a seafood boil where we did steamers and lobsters and the potatoes.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, that was
You have to make reservations.
Yes, you have to make reservations.
I tried to get there and just schedule conflict.
Yeah, so hopefully this year we'll be able to offer it more often. Yeah. It's cool because you get to see everybody sitting at the table and the butter is dripping down their faces. The corn. I love it. Because you get sick of fried seafood. All right, listen, I love fried clams, but after 3,
my favorite.
Right? But then I could eat like 2 pounds of steamers.
Oh, me too.
Right?
Love those.
And then add a couple of pounds of lobsters in and I'm good.
So you've been in hospitality for over 30 years, and people who know you say you run circles around them.
That's the ADHD. So actually, I'm going to be 60 in 2 weeks, if you can believe that. I started scooping ice cream at the age 14, thinking I was going to be a lawyer. That was my plan.
Wow.
Yeah. And what happened?
Look where you're at.
I know. What happened? My parents could have cared less if I went to college. So I was basically, all right, well, there's a bus going from Stoneham High to Johnson and Wales.
Johnson and Wales, right?
So I jumped on the bus. Next thing you know, I'm going to Johnson and Wales I went for hotel restaurant management. And I thought I was going to be Julie McCoy on the Love Boat, thinking, all right, this is cool. Didn't happen. I ended up waitressing, right? And once I got my degree, I got hired by Bertucci's and stayed there for quite a bit and learned everything and loved that job. And then, been doing this ever since. Did catering out of my house and all those things. So I do run circles around them. I don't know why, though. I think it's, when I was growing up, I thought everybody else was weird because I didn't fit in. And then now that I can go on Instagram and learn everything about ADHD, I go, I'm the weirdo. And I wanted to know why nobody ever told me that. My best friend, Sue, her and I used to walk every morning in downtown Manchester. And she would say to me, what's your diagnosis? I go, diagnosis? What are you talking about? Now I know what she meant.
Have you ever thought of any other locations? Like, it seems like it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
You seem to be rooted in Derry.
Mm-hmm. So I did expand into Wyndham, and I did have a location in Bedford. And then, unfortunately, I was diagnosed with stage 3 endometrial cancer. And that kind of took me for a loop. So I had to kind of reel things back in. And for right now, I think staying in Derry is probably the best benefit for me until I figure out. I'm always going to stay in hospitality. I think I would like to work more with youths. I work with a lot of young kids, and I can't stand the fact that they don't know how to use a broom.
I know, right?
It's so sad to me. So I think that the next chapter of my life, I really want to start using my knowledge to help other restaurant entrepreneurs.
consulting.
I want them to learn from my mistakes, right? Because I've made them all. And I definitely want to work with children, and I love teaching how to cook. So the next chapter, it's not completely clear what my vision is.
Sometimes bigger isn't better.
Correct.
My father has always told me that.
Yeah.
And I keep saying to him, he wants to open up another location. He's 85 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, it's enough.
It is enough. And sometimes you can make more in one location than once in several. And especially where the employee pool is very, very challenging right now. And then the training and the execution, and make sure that the recipes stay consistent is so important.
That quality and consistency.
Yeah. So
is the key.
Quality, consistency, your mantra. Like your father told me that he wanted a freaking clam roll at Clam Haven. And I'm like, no, you can't get it. You're going to get the roll on the side.
You know what's funny?
Yes.
I remember when he told us that, my brother and I.
Yes.
And we were like, he's crazy. That did not happen.
Like, it's true. And many people want it.
I understand your reasoning, though. I get it. When you say that, I do.
But you understand it as a restaurant operator, but the customers don't necessarily understand it. And that clientele is an older clientele, and they want what they want. And, my philosophy is just give the customer what they want. Don't worry about it, right? And that's true. Just give them what they want, and then they'll keep coming back, So there's a lot of things to learn still, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. What advice would you give someone that wants to open up a restaurant? What would be like one takeaway that you would...
Find the item or the concept or the belief that makes you the happiest. Because if you're not happy serving or creating what you're trying to accomplish, it'll never work. It'll never work. You got to love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
If not, and it's never about the money. It's never about the money. The money comes once you're happy, once your inner soul is complete, because at the end of the day, you have to be happy. You have to look at yourself and said, I did a good job today. Or I didn't do a good job today, but this is what I'm going to change and make it better for tomorrow.
Did you see the plaque on my dad's desk?
No.
It's right on his desk, and it says, did you make it better today?
Right.
And that is in every diner when you walk in, you'll see it.
Yeah. So,
it's like his thing.
Yeah. So the restaurant industry is definitely a challenge, but there's still...
It is, but it's fun. And like you said, you got to love what you do. And clearly you love what you do.
I do. I do question it every day.
Well, of course, we all do. And don't you get a kick out of when people, come up to you and they're like, I have this dream. I want to open a restaurant. I'm like, are you crazy?
But I always found that when I was drafting my business plan and I was meeting with Scott Kingsley, and to this day, I still in contact with him. He was the one who gave me my SBA loan. And he said that many, many people come to me, they have $1 million in hand and they want to open a restaurant. And he looked at me and he says, you have no money, but you have the experience and you're the type of person that I would invest in. And, he gave me that loan. He believed in me. And that's true. Just because you know how to cook, it doesn't mean you know how to run a business. And cooking is a hobby, and that's great, but you still got to be able to stay afloat. So find that passion that makes you excited to want to go to work every day, and then go for it. And don't look back. And when everybody tells you don't do it, just keep doing it. Don't give up.
Before we move to the lightning round, is there anything that maybe we didn't touch upon with Rigatoni's that you want to let people know?
That I work with my son and I can't stand it? No, I'm just kidding. Rigatoni's has been a staple in the community for a long time. And I believe that I'm fully transparent. So I think a lot of people know about Rigatoni's. What they don't know is that their love and support for me is what kept me going, honestly, because I have gone through some challenges that most women could not have handled, from a divorce to the death of my mom, to fighting cancer, to a fire, to COVID. And, there was always one or two customers that reached out and said, don't give up. We love you. And it kept me going. It really did. And when you read those comments online that are disgraceful and humiliating, I'm going to make a law on that, by the way.
Oh, it's
horrific. I mean, there are nights that I go to bed crying.
Yeah.
And especially when we took over Clam Haven, my entire staff would run to the internet to see what did they say about us today. And to finally, I started sticking up for ourselves and saying, nah, that's not right. You got your hot dog because I made it for you, right? So the thing I want to let everybody know that it's a two-way street. It's not just about me giving to you. It's about what they gave to me to keep me going.
Yeah.
So that would be the thing that I want them to know.
Love it. Love it. So we're going to do a lightning round.
Oh my God, is this going to be like a game show? I'm ready.
What's your favorite dish? It's not anything.
Oh,
I'm probably
hyping
it up. At home. At home. What is your favorite dish to make at home?
I want to say a bowl of cereal, but that's...
Oh, but that's okay.
No,
it's not.
Cheese and crackers.
Ah, okay. Go-to comfort food.
Macaroni and butter. Or toast. Toast.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Ask me what I ate last night.
What did you eat last night?
I ate Red Arrows, mac and cheese, and spicy chili because I took my grandchildren to Manchester after church yesterday. And of course, we didn't eat it all, so I brought home the leftovers. And I eat at night. I'm a sleep eater. And so all night long, I was taking a scoop of mac and cheese with the chili.
Yum.
Chili's
Yum.
delicious.
Thank you.
Delicious.
Thank you. What is your most underrated Italian dish?
I'm going to say the pesto burrata.
Oh, okay.
It's not popular, but it's delicious.
Okay, so see? Now that you said that, I need to try that.
Yeah,
and that wouldn't be something I'd order. So I like
delicious.
that. I like that. One ingredient that you can't live without.
Pecorino Romano cheese.
If you weren't in restaurants, what would you be? A lawyer. Okay.
100%. I think I'm a lawyer now.
What is your best compliment from a customer?
I love your food.
Of course, right?
Or you look skinny today. My weight fluctuates so much, I've had to change.
Oh, hey, seriously, it's a story of my life.
But my I'm the picture on the logo, right? So it's like I've had to
It
change.
is an awesome logo.
Please, do you know, I have to tell you this, that the Derry Little League, right? I sponsored the Derry Little League. And they go, hey, Lisa, on your logo, do you mind if we have to cut off from the neck down? Because we don't really want the young boys to have to look at the chest area of your logo.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding?
I go, yeah, do what you got to do. True story.
So, closing question. When you look at everything you built over 25 years, from that first Rigatoni's to taking over Clam Haven, surviving a fire, cancer, becoming the voice on Chronicle or a voice on Chronicle, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of sharing life skills to my family and my crew. So the staff usually starts with me at a very young age, at the age of 14, and they generally work up through college. And I always say to them, when you go on to your next job, you will be their best employee.
Yep.
And now I'm going to cry because
I was just going to say, is she getting weepy?
Yeah, I'm getting weepy because right now, my wave of employees have their seniors in college. And, and I got the goosebumps because I feel like they've been an integral part of my life and I've been an integral part of their lives. And I get to see them grow into their careers. They become entrepreneurs. They're very, very successful. And I feel that
you were a part of that.
I definitely. And that's where the, not the yelling and screaming, but that's where the incisiveness of you can be better. And no, you can't accept that, right? You have to have pride in what you do, not only for me, but for yourself. And I feel that goes on to my own family and my own son to say no, this is not acceptable. You got to have pride in what you do. And I feel that I instill that, like being on time. I want you to be 10 minutes on time before your shift. If you're
That's something that drives me crazy.
So if you're not in here 10 minutes before, you're late. Well, I'm scheduled at 2. Yeah, okay. But, okay, now let me explain why. Because now you miss pre-meal, right? You're running in. You got to get something to drink. You got to get in uniform. The other person is trying to run out to get out. So it's 10 minutes. So now you're scheduled 10 minutes before your shift. And that's a skill that you want to have for your next job. And then the other thing is, I feel that when I work with the younger generation, I can see what they bring to the table. And I try to harness the skills. Like right now, I got this one kid. He has the ADHD like I do. And he runs my front. And he can sell snow to snowmen, right? And he's the best upseller I have. And I tell him, you are going to be the next millionaire, because I can see what he has and what he has inside of him. And I feel that he will be somebody that I would like to share some knowledge with, because he's worth investing in.
Nice. I love that. I love ending right on that note. I love that. Lisa, it has been a pleasure having you here. I love hearing the stories.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I can't wait to go get an eggplant parmesan and the pesto burrata.
Yeah. Awesome.
I can't wait. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.